Good morning and welcome to another Coffee and Careers Chat. I'm Laura Vinson, Lane County's talent acquisition strategist and recruiter. And I'm joined today by my friend Marianne. And we're here to talk about careers in land management. The Coffee and Careers Chat series was designed to bring insightful conversations with professionals from various fields across Lane County. It's an opportunity to learn more about Lane County, the work we do every day, different career areas, gain valuable career advice, and discover pathways to perhaps your dream job. Today, our guest, Marianne, the Land Management Coordinated Services Supervisor for Public Works, is here to share her experience, insights, and expertise in the field of land management. Marianne, good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you joining me today for this conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time.
Would you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your role as the Coordinated Services Supervisor with Land Management?
Sure. So my name's Marianne Nolte, and I work for Lane County Land Management. So what we are responsible as a division is helping the public know kind of what the rules are and how to develop their properties. So we answer questions from people who are interested in building or developing their land. First, they talk to the planning division or planning department. And then often they speak with building and sanitation. So in my role, I am supervising the team that works directly with the public to answer those building and development questions.
Okay. I feel like you're all at the customer service center on Delta.
Yes, we are. Yep. That's our main stomping grounds, which is super nice. It's a beautiful building, gives people lots of space. And then we can handle lots of inquiries. So we've got pod and bod, those are planner on duty and builder on duty kind of going at the same time. People can pay their fees there. So it's a nice area that gets people taken care of, which is nice.
That's awesome. I feel like every time I go out there, the people are always so nice.
We try really hard.
Well, you got some fantastic folks out there.
That is true.
So, can you please tell us what does a typical day or week look like in your role? And are there specific challenges or exciting things about your position daily?
Sure. So I think what I like the most about this role is that my typical day varies a lot. I try to be the facilitator for my whole team. So that might be that I'm kind of working on my own, creating training materials one day. It could be that I'm answering process questions from my team. It might be that I am throwing out all of our old processes and trying to do new ones that are a little bit more efficient. Or getting into like really specific planning code questions, building code questions. So it varies a lot from things I'm working on independently, things I'm working on with my team, high level stuff, nitty gritty stuff. I really like that. Things that are exciting is when we can help customers get their projects done. So permitting for some projects is like super straightforward. People get their permits and walk out the door. And for others, the permitting can be really involved. And I think all of us get excited by helping people get the answers that they need, working with them the entire time, and then being able to see them get their project off the ground makes us feel like, okay, we did the thing. We were able to help the people get where they wanted to go, which is nice.
That is nice. How many folks work on your team, Marianne?
I supervise 10 people, and then in land management itself, there's about 45. So it's people, yeah, it's a big division. So my team is sort of the kind of intake folks, and then we have a planning department that does current planning and also long range planning. So, issues that will be developed and built in a couple of years versus like longer term code updates that might not happen for another 10 years. And then our building division is made up of plans examiners who are approving people's building plans, sanitarians who are looking at and approving people's septic and wastewater treatment areas on their property, and then also our building inspectors who are going out and making sure that everything that's built is built safely into code.
Excellent. Okay. Land management and public works are crucial for our communities, we can agree.
Yes.
How does your work directly impact the residents of Lane County?
Well, as I mentioned, our role is really to help people know what land use permits and building permits they need to develop their properties. And we all are aware that the permits might seem kind of onerous at times, but it's our responsibility to make sure that development is following the land use codes and the building codes. We're really trying to make sure that buildings are safe to occupy. We want to be sure that they're placed in areas that still accommodate farmland and forest land, preserve access to housing, to clean water, to recreation areas. So all of these things are things we all benefit from. I'd say Oregon's really unique in that our codes have intentionally created pockets of urban development and then areas where it's still green space with rural character. And I think all Oregonians really value that, and that's what we're trying to preserve here at the county.
100%. In your, oh, excuse me, I skipped a question. Can you tell us about a project or initiative you've been involved in that you're particularly proud of or that has had a significant impact on the community?
Yeah, we're working on a couple that are kind of big community impact things. So, our planning team just rolled out new ADU provisions, and that stands for accessory dwelling unit. So, this will allow property owners on some in our rural residential zones, so not on every property, but in a good deal of properties, they will now be allowed to have accessory dwelling units, which means they can have a primary home and then close by a accessory home that can be used for rental housing. Um, that's a big change. We haven't done this before, and hopefully that provides additional housing options in rural areas. So that's really exciting. Another initiative, we're working on a system where the public can gather information and submit for their permits online. So we're hoping that this makes permitting information a little bit more available to people, especially when we're closed or if it's 10 at night and you're in your pajamas and want to figure out, how do I build a garage? What do I need to know? We're hoping that information is available to people anytime. And then we'll also be able to accept people's permit submittals electronically as well. So hopefully just making it more accessible for people to come chat with us and get more information.
That's excellent. I feel like there was something on a ballot a few years back about being able to do that. So I love to hear that Lane County working on it.
Yep, we're working on it.
In your opinion, what are some key skills and qualities that have contributed to your success in this field?
Um, I think being able to listen and being willing to make changes. So when I hear from customers or from my team that our processes could be better, I I want to know about those things and I want to take a look and see if we can tweak things to be able to improve, to be able to make things easier for our customers, for ourselves. Um, I think in government we have a reputation for being kind of slow to respond. And I try really hard to make that not be the case. So I'm trying to convene the right people, have good conversations to make the improvements and just kind of keep moving forward. The changes that I've made might be really small and might impact just our division or just my team, but it's still just being able to make changes and keep things consistently better is what I'm trying to do.
Well, it sounds like you're very customer focused out there, Marianne.
I'm trying.
Love that. Well, career growth is essential for professionals. Have there been opportunities for advancement or skill development in your career with Lane County?
Yes, for sure. This is actually the third position that I've held. So I started as a land management technician. So I was directly answering the public's questions about building and development. And then I was doing that for about a year, and then I was promoted to being the holiday farm fire permit navigator. So it was a similar role, but I was working specifically with wildfire survivors to help them understand what exactly is the permit process, because it looked a lot different after the fire. There was a lot of new regulations that came on board. So helping people understand, what can you do? What is the legislation that will help you do it? And then coordinating other agencies on our broad wildfire response. So that was a really cool position. And then from there, I moved into my current position. So it's just been great to kind of have lots of experience, lots of diversity, since starting here. And then I'd say as far as skill development, Lane County has lots of training opportunities. When I first became a supervisor, there's a mandatory supervisor training where you learn about hiring and, oh gosh, all kinds of things, coaching conversations, managing within the law. So all of those things were really helpful to make me feel like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing and I've got the support, which is great.
That's awesome. What advice would you give to someone interested in pursuing a career in land management or public works for that matter?
Um, I I think what's so cool about public works is that there is something for everyone. Whether you're interested in data or in budgeting or public outreach or social and community connections, we've got something for you in public works. And then beyond that, I've never met such a group of like interesting people who just care about the community and want to do good work. So that is all to say we are looking for people who are focused on customer service, giving back, trying to make a better community. We can teach all of the subject matter stuff, to be honest, but we really want to meet people who are enthusiastic and want to learn, which yeah, I think makes for people who are community minded and want to give back.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like we can all get behind our mission to improve lives.
Definitely.
That's great. Do you have any job openings on your team right now?
I do. I'm hiring for 2 positions right now. So we have 2 land management technician positions open. One of them is focused on building and sanitation. So these folks would be answering the public's questions related right to the building codes and sanitation codes. And then we have a new opening, like as of a few days ago, for same position, but more focused on planning. So that would be land use questions like floodplain, zoning, setbacks, all of those sorts of questions. So yeah, 2 exciting opportunities, and we're looking for great people.
Awesome. Well, shameless plug for our career pages, lanecountylaw.gov/careers will get you to our career pages so they can find those job openings. Marianne, thank you so much for your time today. I sincerely appreciate you, and y'all are doing some great work.
Yes, happy to help, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.